Okay, is anybody gonna come in? Hello, hello, hello. Is anybody in here yet? Says one viewer, but is that counting me or not? I don't know. Probably counting myself as the watcher. We are just waiting to see if anybody comes in. I just finished with Action Artist. He had to go do stuff, so I decided to open up my stream. Well, we'll give ourselves 5 minutes. It is 4:53 right now, Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what to talk about when nobody's here. Uh, if nobody comes in, I'm just gonna delete this. Okay, people. Well, I was at Dollarama earlier today. It is a dollar store. Well, more discount store now because it started out nothing under over a buck, but now it's nothing over $4. I'm sure that'll change at some time in the future. And they had this art kit with something else in there that is not in there. 3 pencils, an HB, a 3 HB, and a 6 HB. They had 2 charcoals, a Sarden Hoff. They had pathetic sharpener and a pathetic eraser. I didn't really care. And this travel pencil kit, I didn't really care about any of this stuff. I just wanted the one thing that you don't see in this. I wanted this. And that only cost me whole thing cost me $4. See, with this, I don't have any of these. You can position stuff to know how to draw stuff. Now, this is a super good one. So, you can't do it as good as I would like, but hello to who's ever come in. Hey, Chad, how are you today? Yes, I'm not sure whether you heard me. I have seen the old Supergirl movie. There was only one. And for live action, that is. It wasn't too bad again. Well, considering the time it was made, I wish they would have chosen an actual Supergirl villain. Now, I'm not sure of all of her villains, but other than that, it was not too bad. To me, it was nowhere near as bad as Catwoman or Elektra. And I'm not sure whether you asked anything else on the other stream offhand, right near the end. Hey, Dave.
What are you doing? High streaming?
Live streaming. Just talking with a guy named Chad.
Hi, Chad.
My friend David says hi, Chad.
I'm the invisible man.
Did you watch the prequel? Oh, for the thing, not yet. I haven't had time yet, but I do plan to watch it in the next day or two. And then, of course, I've got to download all those other movies he suggested. He said, hello, David.
Oh, hello. God bless you.
He's just off to the side. He doesn't really want to be on camera. Oh, now he's going out of there. You wouldn't want to be on camera there, Dave. Okay, now he's left. The word camera. Woof! People run! Ah! Well, we are slowly climbing in subscribers here. We are now up to 40 subscribers. Yay! Only another 60 to go, and our contest is on. Well, we'll get a winner for our contest. However you want to say it. But yeah, I got this little guy out of a package of art at a dollar store nearby. Trying to figure out which is front, which is back. Allows me to pose a little, see how things would be. So that was good. Only cost me $4, and I got some pencils and a sharpener and an eraser and a whole bunch of stuff I didn't need. Because if you think I need pencils, let me show you something. Oh no, that's my pencil crayons. There is pencils. I have a lot of pencils. Yeah, don't mind all the sound. I just had to move my laptop to show you that. Unfortunately, a lot of times I'm out doing nothing, waiting for somebody or waiting somewhere. I want to draw. I go over to the dollar store that's nearby and buy a pack of pencils and small drawing pad, and oh, there goes 12 more pencils or 10 pencils. Okay, so I think you're the only one that came over, Chad. No, Hoth. Oh. And nobody else. I gotta start figuring out how to get more people in the chat. So, did you watch today's thing yet? Video from earlier? Mine, that is. One person's me. I have my tablet open so I can see what people are actually seeing. You know, just in case something funky's happening with my internet, I can always tell what's going on. If you just end up seeing my logo, so it always counts me as watching. I'm always watching myself. And then when I first did it, it was to have the chat up so I could see. But now I've learned how to do the pop out chat, and I can have it on screen so I can see. And sometimes when I'm sharing my screen, people see it too. So, any questions, whatever? La, 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 la. Okay, you can tell I'm really out of it. I've got a new toy. uh, what sci-fi? What sci-fi movie you like? I think I've liked almost every single sci-fi movie I've liked, and I know people like to identify as just a Trekker, Trekkie, or Star Wars guy. I consider myself a sci-fier. That means I watch pretty much all sci-fi, and I enjoy it all. What's my favorite? Maybe Star Trek, but then again, there's more Star Trek out there than anything. So I think than any other sci-fi series, it's got the most sci-fi stuff. Well, maybe Doctor Who has more. Although I'd like to find and watch Doctor Who from the beginning. We got 3 viewers now. We are up one. I'm not sure who it is, but hello. Any movie in general? Um, oh, sci-fi. I take it you mean? Oh, we're down to our third person went away. But any movie in general, so many sci-fi movies. My favorite of all of them. You know what? Probably. I know there's probably something else, but at least my favorite Star Trek one, and everybody apparently says this is the most crappiest one of all of them, but I like Star Trek. Yes, I've seen The Princess Bride years ago. I loved it. Um, but I was saying probably my favorite Star Trek movie is Star Trek Five. The I think Undiscovered Country. No, not Undiscovered Country. The Final Frontier. When they go in search of God. I like so many lines in that movie. When Kirk is questioning this alien being that Cybox thinks is supposed to be God, and your Bones is like, ask God for his ID, and Kirk is like still insistent. What's God need with a starship? You know, and then I like one of the last lines Kirk says, maybe God's not out there. Maybe he's in here in the human heart. To me, that almost spoke of, Christianity, but maybe it's my biased interpretation. But stuff like that, I like. I like that. Yeah, God's out there or whatever, but God's not going to need a starship to do anything. God's not going to be trapped on some planet or whatever. So that's what makes it my favorite Star Trek, maybe my favorite sci-fi movie of all time. I'm not sure. I'm trying to compare all the different ones and just, a little fraction of time that I've seen, a little fraction of time that of all the sci-fi movies I've seen. I'd actually like to create some sort of Christian sci-fi series. I've had ideas in the past, but I haven't taken them anywhere. But yeah, I like the Princess Bride, with Andre the Giant, and not sure who else was in it, but they're all good. It was a good movie. I'd have to see that again. I should watch that again soon. Do I own it? I might actually own it. I have a large. Well, depends on who you are. I have a half decent sized movie collection. How about we say that? I'd say large, but I know people. I know a couple people with bigger than mine. Makes me drool. But then again, I know most people have smaller movie collections than me. You still there, Chad? What's your Yeah, I've seen all the J.J. Abrams Star Treks. They weren't bad. I like that it was set in a different universe. I think that's cool. Um, like almost any sci-fi movie, I like to get out there and see. The only one two recently that I want to see in theaters that I haven't seen yet is Ready Player One and Pacific Rim Uprising. You know, I'm pretty good. I'll watch almost any sci-fi. I know some are stupid, especially the B or C class movies. um, what do you think of the new? It felt like Power Rangers. Okay, go go Power Rangers. Go 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 Power Rangers. Go go. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yeah, I've watched the Power Rangers. They're comic bookish. Although the only thing that I've ever had against them is they don't just go and fight regular crime. They don't go out by night or whatever and fight regular crime. All they do is fight the monsters when they appear. But then again, is there any regular crime in Walnut Grove? And for most of the Power Rangers things, you don't see them going rescuing people from buildings or whatever, on fire or whatever. I know there's been a couple that you've seen that in, but most of them you don't. Yeah, I've heard their new comic books are very good. I've been meaning to check them out. Uh, I'd like to try and get them from the beginning, but that can be hard. So, Power Rangers. So, what do you think of the new Abrams Star Treks, or what's your favorite sci-fi movie? Let me guess, your favorite sci-fi movie's The Thing. No. um, are you able to make this? Uh, the second one, which was basically Con rewritten, wasn't too bad. Probably the best one in a lot of ways. Probably the best one so far is actually the last one, Into Darkness, or was that the second one? No, I think no, Beyond. Beyond was the last one. Sorry, Star Trek Beyond. That's probably I think the best one so far. I like the Con one, but I don't like that they didn't have Con being. I know either the guy that originally played Khan is probably dead now, but and either that or he's just old, so you don't really want him playing. But they didn't get somebody that looked like him or sounded like him. Not not that that would have been an easy task to do, but so that I like. Well, didn't really like about the second one of Abrams, but other than that, it was fairly good. I liked how they reversed a few things in it. But I think the third one was the best because they went away from any of probably the third one was the best, and the second one, the first one, followed by the second one in third place, in my ever not so humble opinion. But they're a good watch if you can get to see them. I own both of them, so I'd live stream them, but I don't need a copyright strike. Oh boy. Well, you can still like Star Wars itself. You just simply don't like everything up till the Last Jedi. Obviously the first three ever shown. In other words, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi are the best. And well, I know, I know everybody hates Jar Jar, but I don't mind Jar Jar. I think he's actually kind of cool. What else? Yes, Jar Jar. Am I doing this right? No, I'm not doing Jar Jar right. Cha-cha. Jar Jar Binks. Oh, yes. Uh, but, yeah, those first three are the best. Hey, and just because like I say, just because the Last Jedi sucked doesn't mean you can't still like 1, 4, 5, and 6 and watch them and be satisfied with those three. Maybe you can include the prequels and Rogue One. Rogue One, I liked. I haven't, but like people said, I haven't really been really enthusiastic about the sequel trilogy. But what you gonna do? We can complain. Hopefully they'll listen. Probably not, but oh, hello to whoever's come into the chat or into the thing. We're just talking about some movies and stuff. Ask me anything you'd like. More than willing to try and answer.
Yeah.
Any questions? We just have myself watching, Chad, as you might be able to see from the comments, and of course, whoever you are. Any comments, Chad, on what I was saying about Star Wars? Favorite movie of the MCU? Ooh, that's a hard one. Well, it's definitely not Iron Man 3. um, and at the moment, it's not Infinity War. I do not like the way Infinity War ended. They should have ended 5 minutes sooner, but that 5 minutes into the next movie. Spider-Man was pretty good. Civil War was all right. I don't like the way that they did Civil War. I read the original comic books, but I think they could have done it better. I don't like. I'm not sure what I can say about that. I think Spidey should have turned halfway through it onto Cap's side, like he did in the original Civil War. The first Thor was pretty good. Yeah, I like that. It did make me Thor. Um, oh man. I'm gonna say Cap, the first Avenger. That's probably my favorite of them all. Either that or Guardians of the Galaxy #1. And what is your favorite MCU? Winter Soldier. Yeah, that was pretty good too. I like how they brought him in. Oh, we still have our third viewer here, still hanging on, watching. Oh, that's good. I like what that you like what you're seeing. Well, I hope you like what you're seeing, whoever the third invisible person is. Favorite. Okay, I should come up with something. But then again, you guys are supposed to be asking me questions. Maybe I'm supposed to be asking you too. Um, which of the Comics Gate comics have you gotten, if any? I've gotten Lone Star, Cyber Frog, and Red Rooster. Um, I've been half thinking about getting Bigfoot Bill. It's just a question of money. That's one thing I hate about these. Well, it's actually the cost, whatever your tier you're buying. Then you've got the shipping, and then you've got, for me, not so much for people in the States, you have the exchange rate, and a $55 book or a $50 book with shifting becomes 62, and then it becomes like 70 something with thing. So it just here in Canada, just starts building. And I thought about getting the new one, graveyard shift or whatever. I'm not sure. But have you gotten any, Chad? Because maybe I'm thinking, hope Mike wouldn't mind. I'd have to ask Mike and all them for my viewers, for the people that didn't get it, going through it after it's out, or they're out, Ethan and all that. I'm sure they'd say yes, but oh, that's too bad. Well, like I said, after I get my Lone Star, I might try and I hopefully I'll have that by the end of September, and I might give Mike a chat or DM or whatever, something on Twitter or on thing, and ask him whether it's all right to do a read through for my subscribers that have yet to weren't able to get it for financial reasons or whatever. Oh, that's cool. Collections are always great or good, or however you want to say it. Well, Walmart's a good place to get them for sure. What books were in that collection books? Collection book? Yeah, collection. Which ones were in it, or which ones were they? I think I have watched them a few times, but not a lot, because probably 99%, well, maybe not 99, but three-quarters of what he says, except for, I guess more recent stuff. I know a lot of history, maybe except Marvel. I'm not too hip on. A lot of DC I'm more hipper on. I know a lot of the history of different comic stuff. But sometimes if I need to show a friend or whatever that I'm talking about with comics, sometimes these people explain stuff way better than me. Well, I'm assuming comic historian goes over the history of various characters or storylines. I can't remember. There's a lot of comic stuff on YouTube, and I've watched different ones. Oh, okay. Okay, issue ones from when? There's been a few issue ones of Batman, Superman, Teen Titans, and Justice League. Or do you know? Because I got a few number one issues of those too. So whenever I get some things straightened out, I'm going to. I've determined probably in about a month, 2 months max, I'm going to get all my comics out and sort them into proper order, and I'm going to film it. The first issue of Hush. Okay. I think that's like from 15 years ago. Can you see? Let's see. Um, if you look on them, usually where the price is, underneath it says, and the issue number, it says the month and the year. As you can see, this is Outsiders from 1987. I've got like three of them. Well, two from 87, one from 86. I might have more. On my other stream, the Pied Piper of Hamilton, I've drawn, let's see. On my other stream, the Pied Piper of Hamilton, as I was saying, I've drawn Black Lightning and colored them in. Geoforce, Katana, and Halo, and Supergirl from the 80s. I have this around here somewhere. Oh, over there. Here is my Black Lightning from the 80s and my Supergirl from the 80s. Like I said, I know I have Katana and Halo around here somewhere. And Geoforce. I don't know where they are at the moment. Thanks. Yeah, I have a. Well, they weren't live streamed done, but on my other, like I was saying, on my Pied Piper of Hamilton channel, I have me doing those. I have them all on there, and they're sped up a little. What's the word for that? Uh, I forget what the word is. Where you fast forward through stuff, but you can see everything that's done. Here is the Katana from the 80s. Halo. And Geoforce. I have other stuff I've done too, like that. Heck, I'm not sure whether you've ever seen the 2002 He-Man series, but at that point I decided to come up with. I might have shown this on my stream. I decided to come up with my own version of She-Ra back then, and I haven't colored this in, but there it is. My version of She-Ra. Based off that, I have a video on that thing too. I think about that. I took the She-Ra or and explained in my video. Yeah, I watch DC cartoons. Well, not so well. Haven't watched much of the action stuff, the new stuff. I'd like to though, but I don't know when it's on or whatever. I watch DC Marvel cartoons. Any pretty much I'd say almost any superhero cartoon I watch, but DC Marvel ones, as long as I know about them, I watch them. So I like I like cartoons. I don't know. Can you?
I can't take care of it.
You don't have to.
Plus, I got a motor.
Pull. Oh. Okay, well that's good that you remember that. Well, I watched it, and it inspired me to do a version of She-Ra. I had her in my thoughts. Her spin-off thing or whatever would be like the daughter of He-Man or Prince Adam and Teela. I thought that would have been a cool idea for that. not Adam's sister, twin sister. And then, the whole Horde crew would be, at least Hordak would have been end up being the son of Skeletor and Evil Lyn. That was my thoughts. A third person is watching but not saying anything. Maybe they can't say anything. Oh well. I'm glad you're watching, whoever you are. I hope you're having a good time watching. If you're having a good time watching, whoever you are, hit the thumbs up button if you can. That way I know you're hearing me. Smash that thumbs up. Um, so, of the characters that you've seen me either watched for past videos or saw me remaster, as I'm calling it now, of my characters, which one have you liked so far? Not, at least for design or whatever, not because, like I said, a lot of them I don't have the back history. The Wiz. Cool. Wiz is spelled WHIZ. But cool. I like that you like the Wiz. He's one of my first 7, so that's cool. Um, no, I don't go that far because that would come into an Antichrist type scenario, and there's nobody that's gonna take over the world like that in my comics. They might try, and they might get fairly close. He's not actually gonna turn evil. Well, not that Superman turned evil, but it he this happens all in my quote unquote, as I'm calling it. I've got the phrase from Star Trek Voyager, the year of hell. Like, things go wrong in the Crossverse. Like I said, Wiz gets too big for his britches, and he's like ostracized from the hero community. And there's going to be other stuff happening. I don't want to get into too much, but that's like 5 years down the road. 5.5 technically, because I'm going from when the Holy Warriors first formed, because that's my first major event, except for my heroes coming out. You know, the Holy Warriors form. Then I think the next year is I have a bunch of characters called the Mighty Warriors get introduced into my comic universe. I don't know what year 3 and year 4. Yeah, probably end up being more like Arkham Knight. You know, he'll be off on his own, and I'm not sure of all the details that'll go on during that year of hell with him. I know one detail, but I'm not giving too much away yet because I want some surprises. Not that everybody will remember this, you know, that sees this video, but you'll be able to see the video and say, "Who's the Lex Luthor of my universe?" I have 2 Lex Luthors. I have a character called Cornerstone, who is the crime boss for all of. Well, I guess she's supposed to be the crime boss of all of Canada, but there's another up and comer, and she lives in Montreal, and she is an enemy of my character called the Flame. Although I'm trying to have nobody know who Cornerstone is, at least for the first year and a half of my comics. When she appears, it's always in a shaded. When the character appears, it's always in a shaded background. And unfortunately, I give away too much with my comments. Some of my comments, if you're paying enough attention. And then my other Lex Luthor type one is called, well, his villain name is called Acer. And he's a combination probably of Joker and Lex Luthor. Where Cornerstone, I probably got more from Kingpin from Marvel. But Acer operates more in Toronto, Ontario. Although I should come up for a crime boss for Vancouver. And I have my small time crime bosses too. Will 2? Oh, rejected message. I should come up with a third one for Vancouver because those are 3 big cities in it. I do have multiple universe. So technically, I do have more than one Earth like that. What you're talking about? How prominent will an Earth 2 be? I'm not sure. I have a character named Space Warp, and he is a multiverse traveler, and he comes from a separate universe or separate Earth, depends on how you want to say it. And he's gonna I'm not sure when he first appears in my comic universe, and I'm not sure whether he's done this at that point or not, or whether he's gonna do it after he first appears in my comic universe. But he's gonna form a team similar to Exiles from Marvel. That's not how I originally thought of him, but I like the concept of Exiles, and I just like the way that some things are done there or whatever. I'm not sure how to say it. But he's gonna gather these different heroes from different Earths, different universes, and form a team out of them. And like I said, I'm not sure whether he's formed that team when he first appears in the Cross Comics universe or whether he does it after he first appears. And I have a sort of a video about that and who's on his team on my channel here. It's called The New Champions. And I'm like remastering the drawings of them. I have a drawing of them all together, so and I'm going over it, and I did it, sketched it out, and then I'm going over it like I do my other stuff on my daily stuff. It's like an hour video, and parts of it are sped up because it was not one that I live streamed. I just recorded as I did it. It took me a few days, and then I pieced all the different things together and sped different parts up. I think there's some music in some parts where it's sped up. It's been a while since I watched it or listened to it. And it goes over those characters in that to what I know of them. So I hope that answers the Earth 1, Earth 2. Technically more than one Earth. Earth 1 and Earth 2. And I know I'm going to have, well, I'm not sure whether, well, I'm going to have Evil Earth too. Evil Earth as well, or at least a character from an Evil Earth. I'm not sure how I work everything out exactly. Like I said, I've got lots of concepts, things I want to do in my comic universe, but I haven't. I think I've only written a full year of scripts for one character, that's Flame, but a couple of them I've written 8, so just over half a year, and a couple of them I've written like just a couple months worth of scripts, and then a couple of them I've written almost like half a year. I think 5 months worth of scripts because I'd like mine to be ongoing, monthly. I know some of other people Comic Skate aren't really planning for that, but that's what I've always planned for. I do think that works for DC and Marvel. It's just as of lately they're writing crappy stories and trying to push stuff on people. Yeah, but the only thing I push on people is my belief in God and how I believe. But at the same time, I'm going to try at the most part for keep it on a down low. Yes, there'll be points in it where it's in your face, you know, because there's always times like that where things are in your face. You know, it'll probably be a little bit more in your face in a lot of their origins because, well, they may not always get their powers directly from God, like the Canadian Shield. He's the first one to appear. Yeah, he serves God. God transports him to our time, takes the suit from the future, transports it to our time. An angel appears, tells him to put it on, and travels south, and he does, and things ensue. And the end page is a couple end pages is, and I'm giving a lot away. Is he saves somebody from committing suicide and shares the gospel a little bit with them. And I don't even go all into them sharing the gospel. It's, the guy thinks he's worthless, and, like Canadian Shields, you're not worthless. I love you. God loves you, Has anybody ever told you about Christ? You can have a personal relationship with Christ. It's like, no, and then the comic ends. Well, actually, he says, can I? And the guy says, yeah, sure. Well, not exactly words. I'm paraphrasing a bit, but then the comic ends there. You don't go into it, but you get people searching, hopefully. And God speaks in the first issue. God ends up speaking to him through an eagle as well. So So I hope that's answered a little bit of your question. I just go into a tirade on my comic universe and stuff. Any more questions? I turn that down a bit. I turn that down a bit. Yeah. Uh, any questions about the crossverse? If I can answer, I will. As you know. Um, oh, what can I say more about the crossverse? Which of your heroes and villains would you team up? Ooh. Well, technically, that's been done. Well, you don't know, actually. I have a villain called Libra. Well, he's a villain, but he's not a villain. I guess you might consider him an anti hero, but because he goes around in my universe in the city of Montreal where the flame resides, and he beats up criminals within like an inch of their life. And well, to my hero, the flame, he doesn't like the fact that this guy's going around beating them within an inch of their life, and he goes out one night and tries to stop him, and yeah, I got that like the Lex Luthor Superman team. He goes out one night to try and confront them and tell them hey, you know stop the brutality. I don't care that you're out there stopping these criminals or whatever, but stop the level of brutality. And well, they end up teaming up against a couple of other villains, actual villains. And then there is, of course, again, another. He's gonna. He doesn't team up with them so much. He teams up, but he doesn't. There's a character in my universe that is a bad guy. He works for the Cornerstone, but when he first started out, he was a hero. So people still think he's a hero. He still goes around, saves people, and prevents certain crimes that are that don't help the crime boss Cornerstone. So he half teams up with that villain a couple times, but he doesn't know the character's a villain. He thinks he's a good guy. But who else? Could I see any of my heroes teaming up with villains? Um, I guess it would all just like with Lex and Superman. It's you have to have a reason for them to team up. Something that's in say Luthor's interest. the planet's about to blow up, so oh, maybe I should fight against this alien bad guy to save my hide and the planet that I'm residing on. I'm sure there will be team ups like that because those are neat, those types of team ups. And it just requires the skills of that particular villain. There's no heroes with that villain around, or just circumstances. I'm sure I'll do it. I'm don't, except for those couple examples that I gave, and I'm not sure whether they're exactly what you were thinking of or close enough. But I'm sure I'll write it at some point, or somebody in my universe who ends up writing for me will write it. Because I'm going to have a lot of bad guys. I'm sure. I think you may remember my character Gorton, Conqueror of Worlds. I'm sure when he comes to Earth and tries to conquer it, you know, some heroes and villains will be teaming up. When that happens, I have no idea. Does that answer your question? Um, oh, that's good. Did you like the answer? Do you think the basic storylines to what I gave are decent? Obviously, I don't want to go into too much detail because whenever it comes out, I don't want to ruin it for you. I'm trying to give enough detail and be ambiguous at the same time. It can be hard. Thinking. What other stuff? Oh, excuse me. Uh, any other questions or thoughts or whatever? I'm trying to think of stuff I can say. Any other? That I could think of. Well, we spent what, an hour here or something like that? We spent a good hour here, so nobody else has come in and talked. And it gets dull real soon when you have nobody else. So, maybe I'll end this for now, and I guess maybe hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow sometime Sunday. Not sure what time I'm going to be on. You know, just have that bell on to let you know when I get on because, well, Sunday I'm at church at noon, so, and I'll try and be here for. I'll probably put up a thing about an hour beforehand to let you know when I'll be on in an hour. I'll have the thing up and ready, typed up and all that. Okay, so we will see you. God bless. Have a great day, Chad. Warriors out.